Next speaker is Dr. Sadia Afroz, and she's a research scientist at the International Computer Science Institute. Her work focuses on anti-censorship, anonymity, and adversarial learning. Her work on adversarial authorship attribution received the 2013 Privacy Enhancing Technology Award. The best student paper at the 2012 Enhancing Technology Symposium, and she also has an award, runner-up award for the 2014 ACM SIGSAC Dissertation Award.
I'm not sure if it's working though.
But she's using her own computer, and that's a challenge, right, Ben?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's working though. Oh.
Wait,
Okay. Something happened.
I just went.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, great. It's working now.
Just don't move.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for staying until the end. My name is Sadia Afroz. I'm a research scientist at the International Computer Science Institution. Today, I'm not going to talk about censorship or adversarial machine learning. This talk is very different from all the other work I did. I will talk about our work on automatically group sex ads. The goal for doing this is to identify sex ads that might indicate signs of human trafficking. This is a joint work with some of my colleagues from UC Berkeley, NYU, International Computer Science Institution, UC San Diego, and we also worked with one startup that specializes in clustering blockchain transactions. So human trafficking is one of the most grievous issues that our world faces today. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that cuts across multiple nations and different people groups. But internet has opened up new avenues for sex traffickers, including there are multiple sites where you can post ads for selling sex. One such website is Backpage.com. Backpage is just like Craigslist. It offers varieties of classified ad listing, for example, rentals or jobs. We will focus our attention on the adult entertainment section. There's been multiple research that showed that most of the ads that are posted in the adult entertainment sections are ads for selling sex. So a person can post an ad by themselves, or a human trafficker can post an ad on behalf of all the human that he is trafficking. If we group all the ads that are posted by a specific human trafficker, we might be able to identify attributes that can help us either stop trafficking or identify the trafficker. And that is the ultimate goal of this project. So a little bit of background of Backpage. Any person with an email account can open email address can open an account on Backpage and post ads. Usually posting ads on Backpage is completely free. But if you want some special features, for example, you want to post your ad to multiple locations, or you want your ad to be posted at the front of a page, you need to pay Backpage money. So in 2015, Visa and MasterCard stopped processing transactions for Backpage because of their sex trafficking complaints. So Backpage then moved all of their adult section transactions to Bitcoin payment. So that gives us an extra data point because all of the Bitcoin transactions are publicly available in the blockchain, even though combining all of these transactions to individual users is not that straightforward. As of 2017, the adult listing section of Backpage has been shut down because of the ongoing legal actions against Backpage for their role in the marketing of minors. There's been multiple reports that shows that now all the human traffickers moved to the dating section, so the sex trafficking is still going on, just in a different place. So all of our data has been collected before January 2017. We collected two sources of data. First, we collected over 1 million of ads from 2008 to 2014. In this table, you'll see there's a column called authors. These authors are based off of hard identifiers. So the ads include email addresses and phone numbers. And if we group the ads based on the email addresses or phone numbers, we find that 1 million ads were written by over 300,000 authors. So we use this data set to evaluate some of our techniques. The second data set we collected by scraping Backpage in December and January last year. We collected all the ads placed on United States on Backpage for every hour. Our second data source is the Bitcoin transaction data. A Bitcoin is owned by a wallet. For every transaction, a Bitcoin from one wallet is transferred to another wallet. Bitcoin is pseudonymous in the case that all of the transactions from a single wallet are linked to that wallet and one owner, but one person can own more than one wallet, and combining wallets is a very difficult problem. Every single transaction on Bitcoin is stored and publicized in the public blockchain, but to be appeared on the blockchain, the transaction has to be validated. Before validating a transaction, as soon as the transaction happens, it is stored in a temporary place. It's called mempool. So once the transaction has been verified as valid, it's moved from the mempool and is added to the blockchain. Many merchants wait for a transaction to appear on the blockchain before they can accept it. But it could take some time, because if the network is overloaded, a valid transaction could appear on a blockchain after several hours. So there are many merchants who do not wait for this validation process. As soon as a transaction appears on the mempool, they will accept that as a valid transaction. And Backpage is one of those kind of vendors. So to collect this transaction data, we took a snapshot of the Bitcoin mempool for every minute, and we collected 16 million transactions from that. So now that we have this information, let's look at how a transaction happens on Backpage. Backpage ads cost different amounts of money depending on what kind of premium features that user wants to add in their ads. If user do not want to add any features, then the ad would be free. So for each invoice, Backpage will create a fresh wallet address along with the Bitcoin amount. A user can do transactions with Backpage wallet using the credit they had on the Backpage account, or they can transfer money through their own Bitcoin wallet, or they can use different third-party services like Paxful for transferring Bitcoin. And in all of these cases, all of these transactions would appear on the mempool, and if you constantly scrape mempool, you'll be able to get access of these transactions. So with all this background, let's look at the tools and techniques that we used. Our goal in this work is to group all these ads by their owners. So we wanted to identify which ads belong to one owner. For this, we came up with two techniques. The first technique we look at is the authorship attribution techniques. For a pair of ads, we look at the text of the ads and identify whether those two ads are written by the same person or not. Our second technique is a technique to link one Bitcoin transaction to an ad by looking at the price of the ad and the timestamp when the transaction happened. So then we designed two different techniques to identify that uses results of our authorship attribution and the linking technique and connects the hard identifiers like the phone numbers and email addresses and use that to group ads by owners. So let's first look at the authorship attribution method that we used. Our classifier takes as input two ads that appear in the site and extract authorship attribution information from that and determine whether the ad is written by the same author or not. We used a supervised learning approach that is, we label a random sample of the ads by their hard identifiers, like their phone numbers or email addresses, and then train a classifier and then test the classifier on the remaining data. Now, using the hard identifiers as a label is not perfect, but that is the only ground truth we have at this point, and that's why we use that ground truth. So we experimented with two different sets of features. The write print limited features, that is a set of authorship attribution features that previous work have used. and it has pretty good accuracy in different kinds of text. The second feature we used is very specific features that work pretty well in our case. These features include the structure of the ads, like number of emojis they have in the ad, or location of the line breaks in the post. If you want to know more detail, you should look at our paper for that. So we assessed our classifier on a non-overlapping set of authors. Our right print features has over 80% accuracy, and our Jacquard and structure features have over 90% true positive rates with very little false positives. And many of the false positives happen because we don't have the perfect ground truth. We noticed that sometimes ads have different hard identifiers, different phone numbers, even though they seem to be written by the same person. They are exactly the same ad. So our second technique is the linking technique that links one ad to a Bitcoin transactions. For this linking, we use data from two sources. First, we look at the ad listing site, the price of the ad, and when the ad appears on the site. And on the Bitcoin mempool, we look at the amount of a Bitcoin amount in a Bitcoin transactions and the timestamp of when that transaction appears in the Bitcoin mempool. Now, we consider one ad is matched with one transaction if the price of the ad and the Bitcoin amount in the transactions are exactly the same, and both of them appear almost at the same time. In the Backpage case, we noticed a Backpage ad puts up on the Backpage listing page within a minute of it appearing on the Bitcoin mempool. So that is what we use as a transaction. So now, these techniques could have many false positives and negatives. The false positives and false negatives occur because reconstructing the price of an ad is not as straightforward as it seems, because users can repeatedly add features periodically over a long period of time. And to able to construct these features, we need to be continuously scrape Backpage. So sometimes if we miss any of the price points, it would be very hard to match the ad to a Bitcoin transactions. So to evaluate our linking technique, we posted 25 Backpage ads. 24 of them were paid, and 1 of them was free. These ads prices were ranged from $2 to $20, and they were all placed all over the United States. So to reconstruct prices, we looked at what kind of activities contribute to the price of an ad. We found there are 3 activities that contribute to the price of an ad: how often the ad is moved to the top of the listing page, how many locations it is posted to, and how long it's been highlighted in the listing page. So to reconstruct this ad, to reconstruct all of this information, we need more than 1 scrapes to collect this information. So we have 3 scrapers. The scraper 1 collects Backpage data every hour to answer how often an ad is listed at the top of the page. The second scraper scrapes Backpage every day from different locations to answer how many locations it is posted to. The third scraper scrapes Backpage every day to answer how long an ad has been highlighted. So after we have all this data, we applied our linking techniques on that, and we found that we can link all of these ads. Only one of the ads we couldn't link. It's because we couldn't reconstruct the price of the ad. We found that our scraper runs once an hour, and for that ad, the listing page was updated before we could run our scraper. So that's one of the reasons we missed the price point and we couldn't match the price. For all of the other ads, we could match the price and we could identify the exact transactions on the Bitcoin mempool. So now that we have all the information we need to group ads by the owners, we came up with 2 heuristics methods to group ads by owners. The first grouping method that groups ads by the shared hard identifier. So let's suppose we have 3 ads that share a hard identifier, for example, a phone number. So at first, we group the ads by their identifiers. Then we find the exact transactions that match with these identifiers. And then we try to find the wallet that are responsible for these transactions. Now, this wallet has to be a special wallet to reduce the false positives. This wallet, we consider that this wallet that participates in these transactions, no other wallet can participate in these transactions. So all of these transactions, 1 to 6, only wallet 1 contributed money to these transactions. There's no other wallet 2 or 3 that participated in transactions. The second heuristic method we look at is we look for special kinds of wallets that are known as persistent Bitcoin identities. So every time a wallet participates in a transactions, if there's any change from that transaction, that change could either come back to the same wallet or it could go back to a different new wallet. So a Bitcoin identity is called persistent Bitcoin identity if transaction changes always come back to the same wallet. So after we found these persistent Bitcoin identities, we look for the transactions that they participate in, and then we find the exact match ads. Now, some transactions match with more than one ads. If in a situation like this, we use our authorship attribution methods to identify the right ad. So let's suppose transaction 2 matches with ad 2 and ad 3. Since we know that the ad exact is the right ad that belongs to the wallet, we ask our authorship attribution methods that which of these ads are most likely to be written by the same author. In our case, if there's 90% probability that ad 2 is written by the same author as ad exact, but there's 40% probability that ad 3 is written by the same author as ad exact, then we'll consider ad 2 as the right ad that belongs to that wallet. So for case study, we collected data from Backpage for 4 weeks. We extracted over 75,000 ads in this 4-week period. But unfortunately, majority of these ads were free, so there's nothing to look for in the blockchain case. But we can still apply our authorship attribution methods to group the ads. Our methodology only looks for special kinds of wallets, the wallets that only participate in transactions where no other wallet contributed to. In our data set, there were 55,000 such wallets. So here's a bit of results that we found so far. We found 30 wallets that share hard identifiers with one another, and each wallet has at least 2 hard identifiers. So here's an example of one such wallet. This wallet 1BT6. This wallet contributed over $165,000 on ads and placed over 5,000 ads. The ads were posted in 28 regions. And you can see that there are 36 phone numbers associated with this wallet, so phone numbers are not the best way of grouping ads. In our data set, we found 47 persistent Bitcoin identities. Each wallet had more than one transactions. 6 of these 47 wallets had an exact match with other ads that share either a shared identifier or written by the same author by our authorship attribution methods. So one such wallet is this wallet, 1MDJ. This wallet spent $24 on ads, posted 7 ads, and the ads were posted in 5 regions. So as you can see that this is a very simple proof of concept methods, and there's a lot of opportunities for improvement. First of all, right now we're looking at the possible causes of false positives and negatives. We are looking at wallets that are not persistent. For example, wallets that use third-party wallets, Paxful. We are also expanding this analysis to other cryptocurrencies, for example, Litecoin. So that concludes my talk. We proposed an automated approach to group 6 ads by their true owners. So our method looked for many different kinds of features that are beyond the hard identifiers. We are now collaborating with an NGO and law enforcement officers to deploy our techniques. This paper first appeared on KDD, so if you're interested, I will encourage you to look into it. Thanks a lot.
Questions? So have the law enforcement used your study to actually crack down on specific predators or child pornography ads and really make an impact? Or is it still in the early stage?
It's still in the early stage, but we talk to them, and everything they do is very manual. So it takes a long time for them to identify these traffickers. So even a little bit of automation would be very useful for law enforcement. So that's what the kind of tool we're trying to build right now.
And do they feel the evidence that this particular study provides is defensible in court? Or has that not been discussed?
That's not been discussed yet, yeah. But they can use this tool, at least find the possible set of suspects, and then look for other evidence to incriminate people.
Right, so this doesn't get to a person, right? It just correlates.
Yes, yeah. At this point, it's just finding wallets, yeah.
So I have a question too. So I don't think this addresses another issue. I actually happen to know a fair amount about this just because there's a structure that's used with lockers and an isolation between the lockers and who populates them with video or information and the person that actually streams them. And that's used in piracy for cable. And usually the lockers are sitting offshore or in another country adjacent. And it turns out that I had somebody mention something to me one day, and I've actually verified it with law enforcement in where I live. And I have a close friend that works deep in law enforcement. And it turns out a lot of the child pornographers, I don't know about the sex trafficking, but the child pornographers use that locker structure. And actually, I think there's some relationship between the child pornography and the video theft, where they actually take the child pornography, put it in the lockers, and then the people that are distributing it are isolated from the lockers, so they can't really, they can't pull it all together to go after people. It makes it very difficult. But this doesn't try and address that at all, I don't think.
Yeah, the reason we wanted to look at the Bitcoin transaction is that at least something could be done to maybe shut down their wallet or track their money trail. Yeah. So
Yeah, that
whoever
makes sense.
is behind that, they have to be able to do some transactions. And if we go after the people who are associated with that, that might be the best way to find at least their group or something.
Makes sense, yeah.
I'm curious, in terms of doing this type of research, many sites have terms of service that prevent automation type attacks against this. Are you breaking the law in your research?
Most of our data came from another project, which is a government-funded project. It's called DARPA Mimics. So they're already collecting this data automatically, and we are just using them.
Any last questions? Okay, then I think we should thank the speaker once more. And with this, I think that we are closing the technical program.